our presentation, but just a reminder to keep yourself on mute unless you're asking a question. So, as I said, Charlotte Gray is our presenter today, and she is one of the first people that was trained 24 years ago by an Emmy Award winning Rhonda Coach with a hit TV show. And that groundbreaking show brought life coaching into mainstream consciousness and gave millions a powerful alternative to traditional therapy. Since then, Charlotte has spent over 2 decades helping hundreds of women and men break free from fear and step into their extraordinary lives. She's a master practitioner of NLP, neuro linguistic programming, the same modality that launched Tony Robbins to fame, and she is a rapid transformational therapist trained by England's top hypnotherapist, Marissa Peer. She holds a doctorate in clinical hypnotherapy, a bachelor's in psychology, and a certification in heart healing, a powerful modality that's designed to help heal early relational wounds and trauma. But Charlotte's not just credentialed, she lived what she teaches. Born and raised in LA, she worked in corporate America, sales, and the entertainment industry, both in front of and behind the camera, before building two successful businesses as a single mother of twin daughters. And then life threw her a curveball that nearly took her out. She knows firsthand what it's like when fear wins and what it takes to choose extraordinary instead. 4 years ago, Charlotte traded the Hollywood hustle for Columbus, Ohio to be closer to her adult daughters and their families and her grandson. She loves the slower pace, being in nature and experiencing the four seasons. Today, Charlotte specializes in identity shifting, helping small business owners and high achievers become the person capable of achieving their biggest dreams. One of her clients recently told her after they had worked together, I feel like I've had a complete brain and heart transplant. My life has drastically changed for the better. So get ready, folks. Whether you've been hiding your gifts, playing small, or waiting for someday, Charlotte is here today to share from ordinary to extraordinary, breaking free from fear. Please join me in welcoming Charlotte Gray.
Thank you so much, Roseanne. And Myrna, that was the perfect meditation for the prelude for today's session. Thank you for that. So, who here has ever watched the Olympics or the Oscars? I mean, most of us have. Yeah, so we look at those athletes and those actors and we see them as extraordinary. These are men and women who have reached the highest potential in things that excite them. But here's what I know. Ordinary people like you and me can choose to become extraordinary. The seed of greatness lies in you and you and you. It lies within each one of us, just waiting to be nurtured and watered. So, what stops us? What keeps ordinary people from becoming extraordinary? Quite simply, no matter how you wrap it, it's fear. And not the kind of fear that is life threatening, but the kind of fear that is life sucking. It's sneaky and it's insidious. Have you ever been ready to take a risk or to try something new, and then you get locked into this internal dialogue with yourself that sounds something like this? I can do this. Who do you think you are? I want to try this. You could fail,
Mm.
but it's my dream. Dreams are for fools. People will laugh. The conversation in your head gets so painful that you give up. You give up on your dream, and worse, you give up on you. See, fear fights to keep you ordinary because it thinks it's keeping you safe.
Mm.
But you can choose extraordinary. Now, when I say extraordinary, I'm not talking about winning an Oscar or becoming a millionaire, but of course, those things are possible as well. I'm actually talking about the mom who finds her voice and stops people pleasing and starts living on her own terms. Or the business owner who stops playing small and asks for what she's worth. Or the woman who's been hiding her gifts and her talents because she's afraid of being judged, and then she steps out into the spotlight. Extraordinary means living life fully expressed, waking up excited about life instead of just getting through the day. And here's what staying ordinary costs you. Every day you choose ordinary, you're choosing to shrink and to hide and to let fear make your decisions. You're choosing a life of what ifs, or if only, or one days. And honestly, you're choosing to waste the one precious life you've been given. And that's what's at stake today. So my name is Charlotte Gray, and I am a fearless living coach. And since today is designed to be a kind of speech and workshop, I want to make sure that we're going to be highly interactive with one another when I take you through some exercises and processes. Are we all in agreement?
Yep.
Terrific. All right. Now it's January and it's 2026.
Mm.
It's a new year and it's a time for new beliefs, thoughts, actions, and results. It's a time to activate the dreams you have been incubating. And the theme of today is from ordinary to extraordinary, breaking free from fear. And today is an opportunity to learn how fear silently drives your decisions, your actions, and your results, and how it holds you back from living the life your soul intended. And you're going to learn how to take some steps to stop letting fear take the wheel of your life. So now you may be wondering, what is a fearless living coach? Simply put, I help men and women shift from the paradigm of fear into the paradigm of freedom. I believe most people live in the paradigm of fear. They just don't know it because we have been socialized to be reactive to life. And we think that's normal, but it is not. I help talented women to unlock the chains and the patterns of fear that have kept them living lives of quiet desperation. Sounds dramatic, but I think some of you know what I'm talking about. Afraid to take the risks required to reach their highest purpose and potential. And I help them to release their self-doubt. I boost their confidence, their self-worth, and their self-belief so they go from stuck to unstoppable. And I teach my clients how to shift their disempowering behaviors into empowering habits. And I help them to really see their greatness so that they start to live out of who they are meant to be rather than living out of their core fear. And as a result, who they become up levels and how they show up in the world up levels and the world starts to show up very differently for them. And as a result, for many, it's a quantum leap. So I show my clients how to stop standing on the sidelines of their life and being observers. And I show them how to get out on the playing field and develop into A players in the game of their life, shifting from reacting to life to creating the lives they want. So here's the truth. Becoming extraordinary requires being willing to follow your heart, to take risks, to fall down, to get up, and to keep going, because you choose to be led by freedom and faith rather than to be choked by fear. And I'm not talking about the kind of fear that is, life-threatening. Today, you're going to learn how fear silently keeps you choosing ordinary and what you can do to win and choose extraordinary instead. So today's topic is for you and will be of interest for you if you're tired of playing small and you know you're meant for more. If you keep getting in your own way and you can't figure out why, or you have dreams you're afraid to pursue, or you're ready to stop being an observer and become an A player in your own life. So here's what we're going to cover. First, I'm going to share with you a time when fear had a chokehold on me, even though I was already a fearless living coach, and what it took to break free. And then we're going to uncover some of the masks that fear wears and hides behind so that you can become aware of fear and do something about it. And then we're going to dive into one of fear's favorite ways to keep you ordinary. And finally, I'm going to give you 2 practical tools to start choosing ordinary today. And if any of what I talk about today resonates with you, I'm going to share with you how you can take this work further. Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Obviously, I don't have enough time to teach a full fear-busting course here today, but it's going to be an excellent start. You're going to have some new awarenesses about fear, and as most of us know, awareness is the first step to transformation and change. So starting with my story, I can tell you I know a lot about fear. My story is about a time when fear fought to keep me ordinary, and it won. I'm a single mother of now 32-year-old daughters, twin daughters, Katie and Sydney, and I had them late in life. And when they were only 11 days old, my mother, who had been my only family, died.
Mm.
Their father had gone into a very deep depression during my pregnancy. And when the girls were 18 months old, we split up and he moved back to his native England. I was on my own. But I was thriving. I wasn't thinking. I was thriving. I was. I started 2 very successful businesses. I transitioned out of corporate to do so. The first was an acting studio in Los Angeles. I ran it for years, and then my coaching practice that took off very fast. For years, I helped hundreds of people to transform their lives. I was doing so well. My girls were growing, the economy was growing, and I was living extraordinarily. And then, what I like to say, 5 minutes before the Great Recession, I decided to jump into real estate investing with both feet, leveraging my assets. So you can guess what happened next. I lost pretty much all of my financial wealth, including our family home. My kids were in high school at the time looking towards college, and one of the main reasons I'd invested in the first place was to make sure that I could pay for their college educations. I was devastated. I was in shock. And then the shame and the guilt consumed me, and depression hit. Our lives turned upside down. We moved from our house to an apartment, and luckily in the same school district. But here's where fear really won. I was too embarrassed to tell my clients or anyone what was really going on. And as our work completed, I just kind of let my business slip away. I took a survival job where I stayed way too long, suffering in silence and so unnecessarily. I was drowning in the negative emotions of shame, guilt, and you guessed it, fear. This, again, even though I was a fearless living coach, I was in crisis and I forgot everything I knew. Has that ever happened to you? Yeah. But I can tell you, and this is an important point, the biggest mistake that I made was to cut myself off from my support structure. I hid from my friends and from most everyone. I went into hiding. I had totally forgotten what Rhonda had told me. Rhonda Britton of Fearless Living, my mentor, my original mentor, had taught me, first thing, no one can be fearless alone. Fear fought to keep me ordinary, and that time it won. So eventually, I met a coach that I resonated with. And I really didn't have money for coaching, but I had just enough to get started with a wing and a prayer. I knew something had to change, and I knew I couldn't do it alone. So my coach saw who I really was and spoke to my greatness. That thing that lies within each one of us. And I quickly saw how I was keeping myself stuck. And then momentum built, and I started to rebuild my business, my confidence, and my life. If I hadn't hired that coach, I would not be sitting here today talking to you. No one can be fearless alone. My coach called a halt to my pity party, and it was a big pity party. He said, "It's time to clean up and go home." I had to accept the responsibility for my mistake, albeit a costly one. But once I settled into the fact that the mistake was in the past, there was nothing to fix, I was free to start creating a new and exciting life. My past was no longer dictating my future. Fear fought to keep me ordinary, but now I was set to choose extraordinary. And then I had to step way out of my comfort zone and call each of my daughters who were in college at the time. And I told them I was through apologizing and through going on and on about how guilty I felt for disrupting our lives. Actually, the response kind of surprised me. Each one of them clapped their hands and said, "Yay, Mom, it's about time." Fear fought to keep me ordinary, but I had finally chosen extraordinary. A month later, I was on a plane to Ohio to attend Katie's graduation from Ohio Northern, where she got her bachelor's degree in nursing. And then 24 hours later, I was in Berkeley, California, attending Sydney's graduation from Cal Berkeley for her bachelor's degree in global economics. This was my personal journey from fear to freedom. But I know that each one of you has your own story of where fear fought to be right and won. So now let's go ahead and take a look at just how sneaky fear really is in your life. Fear wears many masks, many disguises. And that's how it's able to sneak up on you without you even noticing. So to demonstrate this, I'd like to take you through a quick exercise that will make what we're talking about today very personal and meaningful to you. Are you game?
Yep.
All right, let's get that interactivity. All right, in a moment, I'm going to ask you all to close your eyes. And the reason for that is just that you don't have to be self-conscious. You can just be honest with yourself. So then I'm going to read through a list of words, and each one that you recognize from your daily or your weekly life, I want you to just raise your hand like this and lower it. And make sure your hands are in the frame of the camera, please, so I can see you. All right. Go ahead now. Close your eyes. And let me ask you, do you ever judge, control, complain, procrastinate, compare, manipulate, defend? Do you ever feel disappointed, resentful, self-pitying, guilty, overwhelmed, perfectionistic? All right, you can go ahead and open your eyes now. Are you surprised at how many times you raised your hand? Actually, a lot of you look like you were waving at me. This is pretty normal. So when you're stuck in these masks of judgment, controlling, defending, all that I listed, and there are many more, you are fighting to be right. You're trying to prove you're right and that others are wrong. And that is fear in action. People who aren't driven by fear have no need to prove they're right. They simply get on with what is right for them. These are behaviors and negative emotions that show up daily in our lives as the masks of fear. And remember, we're not talking about the kind of fear that involves putting your life at risk. We're talking about your personal belief system that keeps you being reactive and a victim of life rather than being in charge and empowered. Who here has ever felt disempowered? Yeah, this is how fear also keeps you ordinary. When you're judging and comparing, procrastinating, and all of these negative behaviors and the negative emotions, you are not being extraordinary. You're letting fear win. You're being a passive observer rather than a player in the game of your life. So now that you know that fear is running your life through these masks, all of them judging, controlling, procrastinating, feeling guilty and overwhelmed. But here's what I want you to understand. These masks don't just show up randomly. They show up to keep you safe. but they're old self-defeating habits that show up to keep you ordinary. And fear has a favorite weapon it uses over and over again to make sure you stay right where you are. I'm just curious, can anyone guess what that might be? Something that shows up over and over. I can't see all of you, so if you think you know, speak up.
Negative self-talk?
Oh, that's a big one. That is one of them for sure. That is the number one way that fear will keep you stuck. But today I'm talking about another one. I'm talking about excuses.
Hmm.
Let me show you how this works. Okay. So here's the truth. Excuses are another way that fear keeps you stuck. We've all done it. We've all said these things. I would, but I don't have enough time. I'd love to, but I don't have enough money. Oh, I can't because I'm not ready. This isn't the right time. I'm just not talented enough. Any of these sound familiar?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because, and here's the thing, there's usually a kernel of truth in our excuses so that we convince ourselves that they're absolutely true. We believe them. We say, oh, it's just the way it is. I can't help it. But here's what's really happening. You start to believe your excuses, and then you spend all your energy gathering proof that they're legitimate, rather than focusing on how to get what you want. Remember this, and this is a writer downer. I love this. You may or may not have heard this particular way, but wherever you focus, energy flows and results show. I'll go ahead and repeat that. Wherever you focus, energy flows and results show. If you argue for your why nots, that's what you'll produce. And if you focus on how can I, there's always a way. So let's take a really popular excuse. I don't have time. I'm so busy. There's too much to do. I'd like to, but you feel powerless to move forward. Time becomes this rigid container that controls your life, and you say, I have to go to my job. My job and my family dictate my time. I have no control. And you believe it. Poor me. I'm a victim. Oh, I would if I could. Oh, if only. Now, plenty of people will support you in that thinking. And most of them, the majority, are looking at you through the lens of their own fears and their limiting beliefs. They mean well, but you've all just signed up and aligned yourself with team fear, and you stay stuck, squirming in your comfort zone. I say squirming because if you really want to do something and you're not doing it, you're likely feeling out of sorts. The immediate tension might be relieved when you retreat, but the dream doesn't go away that easily. Time passes. The dream pushes to the surface again. That thing you want but are afraid to actually pursue. And what do? You reach for your excuses again. And here's something you need to understand. Your comfort zone was formed by the time you were around 7 years old. And fear is its gatekeeper. Most of your core beliefs, your rules for living, your ideas about what's possible for you, they were all lodged in there when you were just a child. Think about that. Just a child. And this is the core operating system for your life today. And most of those beliefs were given to you by people who were also being driven by fear. Fear believes its job is to keep you safe inside that comfort zone, to protect you from judgment, from rejection, and God forbid, failure. Let me reframe that word right now. There is no such thing as failure. There's only learning. And we need to learn in order to grow. So fear keeps you confined to what's familiar, what's known, what feels safe. And here's the problem. Everything you want lies on the other side of your comfort zone. Everything that excites you. Everything that would make you extraordinary. It's in the unknown, the untried. And fear's favorite tool to keep you locked inside? Excuses. Not enough time. Not enough money. I'm not smart enough. Good enough. Talented enough. Blah, blah, blah. And on and on. You all know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah. And more time passes until it doesn't, until you die with your dream still inside you, or until you make a different choice, one that requires you to get comfortable being uncomfortable. So, what is this antidote, or what is the antidote to excuses? Anybody have an idea? Except for you, Myrna. No idea? Okay. It's choice. It's choice. So go ahead, Myrna, if you would please put that first slide up.
Sure.
Thank you. All right. So you see on one side, you've got excuse, and the other side, choice. And in the center is your experience of real world limitation, circumstances. All right. You feel, when you have excuses, you feel powerless to take action or to make a difference, a different choice because of your perceived limitation. Give me 1 second. Okay. You continue to validate the limitation and you keep it alive. You use limitation to predict future outcomes. It's always going to be the same. It happened before, it'll happen again. And you use the limitation as evidence for why you can't take action to be successful. Another great excuse. You let the limitation shield you from taking risks, afraid of feeling rejected, humiliated, or like a failure. And then you say such words as, I have to, I need to, I should, I must. Just so you know, each of those words are words of fear. I have to, need to, must, can't, should. When you use excuses, you do feel powerless. It's You validate your limitations and you use those limitations to predict your future. You even wear them as a badge of honor. Wow, I can't help it. If only. Yeah. Badge of honor for why you can't be extraordinary or successful. You get to stay stuck in your comfort zone, feeling safe, but unable to grow. And now we have on the other side, choice. This is where you take responsibility for all aspects of your life and you make decisions that support you in your commitments. You move beyond any limitation by accepting, by accepting where you are while feeling empowered to take proactive steps that improve your circumstances. You have the freedom to let go of the past and to focus on what is possible for you now and in the future. You are willing to move out of your comfort zone fearlessly without a guarantee of success. I mentioned earlier about people that follow their heart, take risks, fall down, get up, keep going, because they would rather choose freedom and faith. And yeah, we don't always know what the outcome will be, but we believe and we trust in ourselves and our resourcefulness. You say such things as, I choose to, I want to, I'd love to, I will. It's a very different energy than that. I can't, I have to, I can't because. Yeah, notice that there are no buts there when you're making choices. There are no excuses. See, when you make a choice, you take responsibility. You stop defending your limiting beliefs. You stop arguing for your circumstances. You create momentum. So here is the shift. When you choose something rather than resent it, you create freedom. Freedom for yourself and your life. I hope you can see that the story I shared with you reflects the shift that happened, how fear was completely controlling and driving my life. And then once I hired my coach, I was able to start to see things differently, and that taking responsibility. That was a big first step. I mean, I did take responsibility, but I kept wanting to, well, happen to everybody and blah, blah, blah. So, but once I just owned it, it was in the past, and I could get on and create and choose to create an exciting life. So let's also go back to an example of a woman who says that she doesn't have time because she has a demanding job. She has a family and she plays many roles. She's a professional, she's a wife, she's a mother, she's a daughter, she's a friend, and she has a dream. Maybe it's to go back to school or to travel or to get some certification or to change her career. She wants something, but she keeps telling herself she can't have it. And she keeps using her excuses as the reason why she can't have it. So let me ask you, you can take that down, by the way, Myrna, take down that. Thank you. What do you keep telling yourself that you can't have? Just think about that a moment. The woman in the example uses time as the reason she can't. It looks and it sounds logical. We can logic our way through anything. but she's arguing for her limitation and choosing to stay. She's actually choosing to stay stuck, to stay where she is. She is choosing to stay ordinary. And that in itself is a choice. Making a choice is no longer an excuse. You own it. You own whatever you're choosing. You take responsibility for it. You may not like it, but you are consciously choosing to do or to not do something. So the moment she says, I choose to prioritize my family right now, or I choose to pursue my dream by taking one small step this week, everything changes. She's no longer a victim. She's being proactive and she is in the driver's seat. She's making a choice rather than using not enough time as a way to blame her circumstances and to not take responsibility for the choice she's actually making there. She lets go of the excuse, I can't because I have no control. And instead, she chooses what she wants to be committed to. That in itself is choosing extraordinary. That is freedom. Now remember, fear fights to be right and to keep you ordinary. And when you argue for your limitations, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough money, I'm not enough, fear wins. But when you release the need to be right, when you stop defending your excuses, you're finally free to see what you can do right now with whatever you have. And that is the moment you choose extraordinary.
Mm.
So Myrna, if you can please bring up slide 2.
Okay.
And if you all have paper and pencil, as Roseanne suggested you get, there are 4 questions or a number of questions here. Let me just, the first one, just take a look. Which one of the following excuses show up regularly in your life? Is it, I don't have enough time? You can actually mark a few of them. It doesn't have to just be one, but those that show up the most. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough help. I don't have enough energy. Something bad will happen again. I'm too old or I'm too young. My partner, parents, kids, they won't like it. I'm too overwhelmed. And let's see, question number 2. What other excuses show up regularly in your life? Just go ahead and be honest with yourself because being honest with yourself is vital to becoming free. So take a few moments. Just list out. And taking a look at all your excuses there, the ones you've written or noted. What is your number one excuse? Your number one excuse in life? How frequently do you use it? And for how long have you been using that excuse? And finally, If your number one excuse disappeared tomorrow, what would you choose to do? What action would you take or actions? Go ahead and write that down. Okay. So now,
Should
now
I
you
should I
do
stop
you,
sharing?
excuse, yeah, does anybody else do you need these slide yet? You can also continue finishing this after the call. Yeah, unless somebody wants it up, you can go ahead and take that down. Thank you, Myrna. Appreciate that. All right, so now you know the antidote to excuses is choice. You get to choose. But let me give you something practical. Let me give you something you can implement tonight that will help you to start choosing extraordinary. This is the number one success habit that separates people who are ordinary and those who become extraordinary. Who here has ever procrastinated? Guilty. Maybe it's making a phone call or making calls to follow up with clients to build your business. Or maybe it's that project that's been sitting on your desk with a big deadline looming. And in those moments when you know what you should be doing, do you ever find yourself with a million little suddenly administrative tasks that just have to be done right now? They pop up to distract you.
Mhm.
And again, you know what I mean, right? Yeah, because suddenly you're reorganizing your files. That has to happen now. Or you're cleaning your desk. Or better yet, you have this incredible urge to deep clean your house from top to bottom using a toothbrush. I'm exaggerating, but just to extend the time, to prolong getting to what you know has to be done, but that you've been avoiding. Maybe it's picking up the phone and risking rejection. This again is fear doing what it does, what it thinks will keep you safe. And you can justify that. Oh, yeah, I had to make those files. Oh, yeah, I had to clean my house, blah, blah, blah. But while it's keeping you safe, it's keeping you small and out of your A game. So here again, another truth. Successful people are willing to do what ordinary people are not willing to do. They are willing to push through their fears and uncomfortable feelings. They commit, they persist, they take massive action, and they stay consistent. And that is the recipe for success. And now here's the recipe that is the recipe for success. But here now is the number one success habit you can start implementing today or tomorrow morning, or better yet, tonight. Always do the thing you like least on your to-do list. Do it first. I'm going to repeat that. Do first what you like least. Every day. Just get it done. Because by doing so, you get rid of the negative energy that you would otherwise be carrying around all day and all night, knowing that you have to get to that thing at some point. That negative energy gets in the way of your being present in your daily life. It gets in the way, leads into your other activities, and it holds you back from showing up and being your best. But when you do what you least like first, you are super energized for the rest of the day. You feel great and you feel like, yes, I did it. And now it's done. And that positive energy gives you momentum for everything else. And now here's a bonus tip. Do one thing towards your big goal, no matter how small you may judge it to be. Do it every single day of the week. No weekends off. Do not take a day off from taking one action daily towards your dream goal. One step at a time, you'll get to where you're heading. Momentum is key, and staying in action will give you that. Now, here's what I want you to understand. This is important. Yes, I'm a fearless living coach. Yes, my clients achieve their goals. They make more money. They change careers. They get married. They start businesses. They transform their relationships with themselves and others. But that's not actually what we work on. The majority of my work is identity shifting, helping you to become the woman who is capable of achieving those goals and those dreams. Because when you shift who you are, what you can do and have shifts automatically. And as Roseanne said in the intro, one of my clients actually just the other week literally told me that since working with me, her life has changed so drastically that she feels as though she has had a brain and a heart transplant. And what she has achieved in this time is too long to list here. That's what makes massive changes possible. Not willpower and not just strategies. It is identity shift, who you become. So now I want to ask you, what's the one thing on your to-do list you've been avoiding? The thing you least want to do, we're circling back to that. Oh, and by the way, if your to-do list has more than 5 items on it, you don't have a to-do list, you have a wish list. Now, one thing you least want to do is your starting point. Do that first tomorrow, and then literally watch what happens. Let me have a sip. So now, let's bring this all together. Today, I shared a story about how fear got me into a chokehold and how I broke free by choosing extraordinary. And you discovered some of the masks and the disguises that fear wears and hides behind, such as the judging, controlling, procrastinating, and so many more. If it's a negative emotion or a bad habit, these are all symptoms of fear keeping you ordinary. You learned that excuses are one of the one of fear's favorite ways to keep you ordinary. It's one of its favorite weapons, and that the antidote is choice. And I gave you 2 success habits. Do what you least like first, and take 1 action daily towards your big goals or towards your dream. Fear is actually, if you think about it, fear is actually a form of insanity. It has you doing the same things over and over again, expecting different results. Let me ask you, don't you want to reach your highest potential? Don't you want to be a blessing in the lives of the people you impact? And that includes your family, everyone around you. When you choose extraordinary, you get to be fully alive. You get to impact people in ways you never imagined. And you get to look in the mirror and respect the woman looking back at you. I'm assuming it's women listening to this. So the woman or man looking back at you, you get to say, I didn't let fear win. I lived the life I was meant to live. So the question isn't, can I become ordinary? Or yeah, that's easy. Can I become extraordinary? The question is, how much longer am I willing to choose ordinary? Fear fights to keep you ordinary, but you can choose extraordinary. What did I just say? Want to repeat that? Fear fights to keep you ordinary, but you can choose extraordinary. That's right. So now I'd like to share a quick story about one of my clients, because I want you to see what's possible when you choose extraordinary. Some years ago, I had a client, Julie, who came to work with me, not because anything was horrible in her life, but because she had this restless feeling. She knew there was something more, but she didn't know what. There was just something. And life for her was pretty good. She was excellent in sales. She already had a 6-figure income. And but she did want to change companies and industries. So when I work with my clients, whatever program they are working on with me, we always do the work, but we're also working on whatever goal or something they want to achieve. So while working with Julie, I helped her to strategize her job change. I helped her prepare for interviews and a debrief afterwards. And then within 3 months, Julie changed companies, she changed industries, and she tripled her 6-figure income. In the course of our work, she happened to mention that she wasn't at all creative. And as a coach, that caught my ear because we all have creativity in us. And so we explored that limiting belief and debunked the myth. It turns out that her father, when she was a small child, had said something about her, Julie, you don't have a creative bone in your body. And of course, as a child, she believed him. And she had lived most of her life very left-brained. So again, we dispelled the myth, and soon she was creating a life vision that included traveling the world as a wildlife photographer. And fast forward a few years later, Julie was able to retire from her sales job, and she wasn't even near retirement age. She retired from her job. She wrote a book on sales. She had it published. And today, and for years now, she has been traveling the world as a wildlife photographer, living her dream. She's won awards and she's getting ready to publish her first book of photographs. Julie went from ordinary to extraordinary by dispelling her personal myths and daring to dream big and taking focused action. Winners, leaders, high performers, and successful people all hire coaches to help them break through and reach their highest potential. A coach is your personal advocate who believes in you, who inspires you, and who helps you take the leap past fear and into your greatness. No one can be fearless alone, and you don't have to be. So everything I've shared with you today, the massive fear, the excuses versus choice, the success habits, these are, you well can imagine, are just the tip of the iceberg of what I do with clients. And if you're feeling any kind of a pull or restlessness like Julie felt, that knowing that there's more for you, if you resonated with anything that I said, and if you're tired of fear keeping you ordinary and you're ready to choose extraordinary, then I want to show you how you can take this work further and turn today's information into lasting transformation. Would that be okay? All right. So I have a number of programs. My signature system is called Courage to Be You. And it's a 6-month program. I take you through fearless living, as well as I do a lot of unconscious work with you, rapid transformational therapy, heart healing. And I tell people before they sign up, or the day they sign up, who you are today. In 6 months from now, you're going to look back and not recognize who you were. And again, I have other programs, and I have some group programs. They're not all listed on my website. So here's what I'd like to offer. I'd like to, if this is of any interest to you and you'd like to find out more, is to offer you a 15-minute clarity call. And I'm setting aside 10 slots for 10 clarity calls. It's complimentary. It's kind of a meet and greet. We'll just kind of touch base and see what's going on, and kind of I can get a sense if I can help you. And if it looks like the next step, you want to find out more, then I'll invite you into a 60-minute Breakthrough to Freedom call. It's also complimentary. And there we do a deep dive into what's going on for you and looking, kind of diagnosing where I can help you. But it's not just that. It's also a call, whether or not you choose to work with me, you're going to walk away with new knowledge, insights, awareness, and things that you can use. So, Myrna, can you go ahead and put my slide up? And can you also put the link for the 15-minute call in the chat?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I want to really incentivize anyone that's actually interested in this. So I'm going to offer 2 bonuses. And the first bonus is that for anyone that books a clarity call and does for this week by Friday, January 24th, you will, whether or not we take the next step to break through to freedom or work together, I'm going to go ahead and send you a recording that I did. Was for a group, and the topic was fear of success. And it's rapid transformational therapy. It goes deep. It's powerful. It's I don't have time to go through all this now. So you can see some of this stuff on my website. And certainly, if we speak, I'll tell you more. But again, it's the unconscious work to get to the root cause of what's holding you back. And then I create an imprint that helps rewire your subconscious mind to align with your conscious desires. And that alone has a value of $500. So for a 15-minute call, if you have any kind of fear of success, that will be a bonus. And then for those, again, booking the 15-minute call, if you move on to work with me, do the Breakthrough to Freedom call, and we decide that we're a match and work together on a larger program, I'm going to actually bonus you with a complimentary personal heart healing session. And that, again, heart healing gets to the root and helps to heal early relational wounds and trauma. And that has a value of $500 also. So also, I'm going to leave it there because I will talk. If you liked, this exercise, excuses versus choice, I have over 40 tools from Fearless Living. And I'm getting ready to launch a group called Fearless Breakthrough. It's 6 weeks and it's just tools. And how to use them, implement them, embody them. And it's to help you confront your deepest fears and unlock your true potential. So it's a great way to start the new year. So, and if you sign up for any of that, there will be a discount if it's this week and because you're in this group. So, oh, did you not post the Myrna?
I will post it. I can't do it while I'm sharing the slide. So as soon as
Oh, gotcha. We'll take the slide down, put it in.
okay. All right.
Thank you for letting me know that.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. So I think we're going to move into a Q&A.
Mhm.
And I just want to throw out, people talk about objections. I just want to say we talked about excuses today. If you're being pulled or drawn or curious, don't let your excuses hold you back. Get on the call. There's no obligation, but there may be discovery there for you. So, all
So
right.
if you have questions for Charlotte, you could put it in the chat or just raise your hand.
So I did put the link in the chat.
Great.
Thank you, Myrna.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Questions or comments, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I would like to say something. So when Charlotte were presented for us in 2023, she talked about the heart healing, and I signed up for a series with her. And I worked on the relationship with my mother, and my mother was still alive. So it was transformational, and I was able to really heal some things about my mother and also my own feelings of worthiness. And I don't think you talked about all these kinds of things, but the power to choose is definitely something that I resonate with. So, yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And sorry about your mom.
Well, she lived a good life. She was 92, so.
It's good.
I have a question. What if the situation you want to work on involves another person? Like if you're willing to reconcile and move forward, but the other person is not. You can't force that person, but do you have a a tool for that.
Yeah. Yeah, because we never have any control over other people, places, or
Right.
things. And this is where so many of us suffer and struggle because we want to control. We want things to go
Mm.
our way. And in Fearless Living, we have a very powerful, I almost was going to introduce that today, but it's too big. It sounds simple. Expectations versus intention. And intentions in fearless living is different than most of us think about it the way we've been taught. It's not about something outside ourselves. It's really about ourselves and how
Mm-hmm.
we choose to show up, who we choose to be, in spite of whatever else is going on out there or how someone else is.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, so it moves, when we live, and so many people do, life is outside and we think we have no control, but we try desperately when all the
Yeah.
control is within us. And when we have that, it doesn't matter about the other stuff. I'm not
Thank
saying
you.
that it hurts if you want to reconcile and the other person doesn't, but and there are other tools with that because there's grief involved there. There's
Mm-hmm.
self-forgiveness. There's forgiveness of others. So, yeah, I have tools for all of those.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question. Is it okay to ask?
Yes, please.
Okay. I live in United Kingdom, and I don't know. I'm interested in this clarity call, but is it actual phone call, like kind of?
We can do it as a Zoom. No,
How
it
does
is
it
a Zoom.
work? That
Usually I do the clarity if you're in the States because it's just a quick, let's see, and then I move you on to the big call. But if you need to do that, just well, on the slide, there's my information with my email. So you just email me
email? Yeah.
that sign,
Oh,
do calendar at first, get that on calendar, and then just email me that we need to do it as a Zoom call, and I'm happy to do
all
that.
right. Yeah, that would be great. I really resonate with this identity shift, and I think it's quite so many things to unpack. So that would be great. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Look forward to
Thank you so
talking to
much.
you.
Yeah. Thank you. Whew.
Is that
Patty,
a hand raise?
I think Patty's raising her hand, but you gotta unmute.
You have to unmute. It's the little red microphone.
Or you can write your question in the chat.
Do you see the microphone that you can click on, the icon? We can't hear you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I'm on my cell phone.
There
And
you
so
are.
I was on my cell phone and it was hard to, anyway, to go,
I know
I
how
know
that is.
with the microphone. Anyway, I just want to tell you, it's so valuable. Very, very good. Thank you. Excellente. I'm Shauna's aunt here in California. I don't know how to change that. Anyway, I'm in California. But anyway, I'm just, again, very good. And I hope I get in on time to be one of your 10 people.
All right. Just click that link and sign up.
Okay, sounds good. I'm off to see a friend to go see the 1933 musical, 42nd Street.
Oh,
Anyway,
lovely.
thank you so much. I'll still be listening as I get in my car. Bye bye.
Thank you, Patty. Look
Thanks.
forward to talking to you.
There's a question. Do you know when 6 weeks group call with 40 tools is going to be available?
It's not going to be the 40 tools on the 6 weeks. It'll be 12 tools.
Okay.
So, yeah, and it's carefully chosen for the purpose of freedom breakthrough. So,
Mhm.
so when is it going to be? I'm looking to start it on February 5th. That's a Thursday, and it would be 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it'll be a 90-minute call each week.
Thank you.
Welcome.
There's also a comment from Kendra. This presentation was spot on, taking full responsibility and action to get out of stuckness and victimhood, transforming excuses, limitations to living to our full potential. Love it.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Lots of light bulbs going on. I
Good.
can't see if anyone's raising their hand. Does anyone else have a question or a comment?
If you do, you can unmute and talk.
Yeah.
I have a question. I mean, is this like for example, this group call? Any more information? Is it? Can we see it on your website or
No, can't.
yet?
No,
No.
because I just decided
No,
to do.
just oh, really? Wow. No, because I don't know. The price is a bit kind of really determining factor. So I thought if we can find out more information about that.
When we talk on our call,
Okay.
answer
All right.
kinds of questions.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
again, that's just that's a group call. But again, I have many programs, so.
All right. Thank you.
So
Is
we're almost out of time. Maybe I can just say a few things that I will make sure today or tomorrow that I send out the recording with Charlotte's information. And the best thing you can do is to contact her, and then you can ask more questions. And I highly recommend her programs based on my experience. But thank you very much, Charlotte.
welcome.
And then I just want to share what's happening next month.
Would you mind, Myrna, putting the slide back up? Would that work? So if anybody wants to take a shot of it for my.
Yes, let me just share the slide for next time, and then I'll put your slide back up so that you can take a picture or a screenshot of it, and then the link is also in the chat. Okay, so for next week, we have our next month, sorry. Can you see the slide?
Yes.
Okay, so we have Kendra doing part 2 of the Fierce Intimacy with based on the book by Terry Real, and it's on Valentine's Day, February 14th, same time as today. And she invites you to bring your partner or a family member to attend together with you and to learn tools about connecting with true respect, uncompromising honesty, and ever deepening love. Okay, so let me put hopefully I still have it open. Yep. Let me put up Charlotte's slide again with her contact information. Can everybody see it?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, turn it back over to you, Roseanne.
So thank you so much, Charlotte, and also Myrna for doing the screens and the sharing about next month. Any closing words, Charlotte, that you want to leave us with?
Well, I guess a natural one would be, well, thank you again for inviting me to speak here today. And just remember, no one can be fearless alone, and you don't need to be.
That's great advice. Thank you so much, Charlotte. And thanks everyone for coming, and we look forward to seeing you next month for Fierce Intimacy.
Wonderful.
Take
Thank you
care,
so much.
everyone.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks
Thank you,
a bunch,
everyone. Thank you,
Charlotte.
Charlotte.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to stop the recording.